If you're looking for a super easy card game that is so much fun to play, try Deer in the Headlights. What I love about this game is that not only is it easy for a lot of people, but there also is some strategy involved, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Here's how to play. You start with first having 2 decks of cards. If we just are playing with a small handful of people, I just use 1 deck, but there is a second one in case you're playing with a large group. Then you also have a scoring board, which you'll only need at the end of each round, and you have 3 dice. To play, you're going to start by dealing all the cards out evenly amongst all the players. I find that it's easiest if you sort all your cards by number. In this game, ace is worth 1, so you could put it at the top if you're just used to that, or you could put it down by the 2, just to remember that it is worth 1 point, because when you tally up the rest of the points, jacks, kings, and queens are worth 10 points each, and you don't want points, by the way. The lower the score, the better. On each turn, players will roll 3 dice. Those dice have images like a running deer, Deer in the Headlights, or a car, and then they also have numbers from 1 to 9. Again, aces are represented by number 1, and then the letters J, Q, and K for Jack, Queen, and King. Then you're going to follow along with the rules to see what each of those dice mean depending on the turn, and there is a handy reference guide. More than most games, I find that I do keep the instructions handy because you will be turning to this a lot, especially when you're first getting used to the game. Some of the variations include: if you roll all 3 numbers, then you'll take all of the cards in your hand that relate to those 3 dice, and you'll discard those cards into the center pile. If you roll a number, Deer in the Headlights, and a car, then you get to get rid of every card that you have relating to that number that you rolled, and anything that adds up to it. If you roll 2 numbers and the Deer in the Headlights, then you're only going to take one of the other 2 numbers that you rolled and put that in the center pile. So you obviously want to choose the one that you have the most of. Or if it's getting near the end of the game, you may find that it's just as easy to get rid of a jack, queen, or king, even if you only have one of them, because those are, again, will be worth 10 points and you want fewer points. So if you have 2 ones, leave those in there, keep those, and get rid of a jack, queen, or king. If you roll 2 numbers or letters and a card, then you'll take all of the cards in your hand that relate to those numbers or letters, and you get to pass them to another player. So instead of putting them in the center pile, you can add to another player, usually the person who has the least amount of cards left. If you get 2 Deer in the Headlights and a number, unfortunately you lose your turn. You can't get rid of any cards that round. If you roll 2 Deer in the Headlights and a car, then you get to assign a lose a turn to another player. They'll skip their next turn, and you still get to roll again. If you get 3 Deer in the Headlights, that's pretty much the worst you can get, because you have to take all the cards from the center pile, and you are frozen. You can't discard any cards until you roll on a future roll a Deer in the Headlight. Once you roll a Deer in the Headlight, then you can resume the game and continue playing as normal. If you roll 2 numbers or letters and a running deer, then you get to get rid of all the cards in your hand related to those 2 numbers and letters, and you get to choose an extra card to get rid of everything that you have on there. I have found on this one it's particularly helpful to get rid of the jacks, queens, or kings if you get to choose whichever one you want, because there's other ones where you get rid of all your odds or all your evens, or where you're more likely to do numbers that add up to another number. So there's lots of opportunities to get rid of some of the other number cards. This is definitely a chance where if you can choose your jacks, kings, and queens, because again, they're worth more points and there's fewer opportunities to select them later, even if you don't roll them. If you roll 2 dice with Deer in the Headlights and 1 with running deer, then you get to choose any 2 cards you want and get rid of all of the ones that you have in that hand. A round ends when somebody gets rid of all of their cards, and then you'll tally up everybody's hands at that point and record them on the scoring sheet. Whoever went out first records a 0, they have no points, and then everybody else will simply add up the total number on the rest of their cards. Again, anything from an ace or a 1 up through 9 is scored based on the number on the card itself, and then the jacks, queens, and kings are all worth 10 points each. The game ends completely as soon as somebody reaches 150 points, and then you see who at the end of that round, when somebody reached 150 points, has the lowest score, and they are the ultimate winner. So that is Deer in the Headlights. If you want to check it out, I will put a link to it on Amazon in the description below. I'll also put a few other links that I think you will love, including additional game reviews that we have done, and also new ways to play the games that you already have. So new ways to play Uno or Jenga. Lots of fun traditional games. We have fun ways to bring a whole new twist to them. And be sure to check out our website, FamilyFed.com, where we love creating new games that are easy to create from around your house using supplies you already have. Lots to do to keep your family entertained and make it easy to create quality family time together. If you enjoyed this, be sure to give us a like or a heart as well. Be sure to follow along on our account so you can find all those great ways to have fun family game nights. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.